Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us for today's Dragon Medical One virtual presentation. We are extremely excited to show you the workflow we have developed, which was designed with efficiency and increased reimbursements in mind. This particular workflow will allow you to streamline both your telemedicine and inpatient visits. We would like to thank the American Heart Association for giving us the opportunity to share this valuable information with you. Let's dive in. My name is Matthew Saxman. I am the Client Relations Manager with CME and FirstDragon.com. I will be walking you through today's webinar. Dragon Medical One is the latest and greatest in front-end speech-to-text technology. This HIPAA-compliant tool allows you to complete your patient documentation up to 45% faster, saving up to 2 hours per provider per day. Dragon Medical One offers an affordable subscription-based pricing model, which includes support, updates, and upgrades. A recently updated COVID Command Content Pack is also available and can be loaded into your user profile. We have found that more and more providers prefer the mobility and flexibility of the combined Dragon Medical One and PowerMic Mobile solution. The PowerMic Mobile app turns your smartphone into a wireless dictation device, allowing you to reduce the cost of expensive mics and keep up with your dictations on the go. Okay, it is now time for my favorite part of the presentation. Let's hop into a live demonstration. Please understand that we are using a generic EHR for demonstration purposes, but Dragon Medical One works with virtually all Windows or web-based EHRs. We are partnered with many EHR platforms and bring that level of expertise to our client base. So you can see I have our mock EHR pulled up here. And this is the Dragon bar. It's much more condensed compared to our older versions. It's a floating bar, so you're able to drag and drop it to a convenient area on your screen. There are 2 buttons. You'll notice the microphone button, which will indicate when Dragon is listening to you or not, and also the menu button. Let's begin. I'm going to start with some straight text, and then I'll hop through these fields, do a little bit more straight text, as well as some auto text or macro commands. I will then use the select and save feature to edit those macro or auto text commands. Here we go. Abdominal, aortic, sorry about that. As I was pulling up my script, I refocused the cursor into that instead of where it needed to be. It's a good lesson. You always want to make sure your cursor is focused when using Dragon Medical One and ensure the text goes to the right area. Let's try that again. Abdominal aortic aneurysm period. Next field. Endovascular abdominal aortic aneurysm repair period. Next field. The patient was brought to the OR with the known 4 cm abdominal aortic aneurysm plus 2.5 cm right common iliac artery aneurysm period. A Gore exclusive device was used. 3 pieces were used to effect the repair period. We had to place an iliac extender down into the right external iliac artery to manage the right common iliac artery aneurysm period. The right hypogastric artery had been previously coiled off period. Left common femoral artery was used period. We had small type 2 leak right underneath the takeoff, the renal arteries, comma. This was not felt to be type 1 leak, and this was very delayed filling. And it was felt that this was highly indicative of type 2 leak from a lumbar artery, comma, which commonly come off in this area period. It was felt that this would seal after reversal of the anticoagulation given sufficient time period. Next field. With the patient supine position under general anesthesia, the abdomen and lower extremities were prepped and draped in a sterile fashion, period. New paragraph. Bilateral groin incisions were made, and the common femoral arteries were dissected out bilaterally, period. The patient was then heparinized, period. New paragraph. The 7 French sheaths were then placed retrograde bilaterally, period. New paragraph. A stiff implants wires were then placed up the right femoral artery, and a stiff implants were placed left side. A calibrated catheter was placed up the right side, period. The calibrated aortogram was then done, period. We marked the general arteries, aortic bifurcation. Scratch that. Scratch that. We marked the renal arteries, aortic bifurcation, and bifurcation, common iliac arteries, period. We then proceeded placement of the main trunk, by replacing the 7 French sheath in the left groin area with 18 French sheath, and then deployed the trunk body just below the takeoff renal arteries, period. New paragraph. Once the main trunk has been deployed within wired, the deployed, scratch that, then deployed an iliac limb down into the right common iliac artery, period. As noted above, we then had to place an iliac extension, down in the external iliac artery to exclude the right common iliac artery and resume completely, period. New paragraph. Okay, so those were some straight text examples. You'll notice I used the phrase scratch that several times. I either had a mistake in my reading of the script here, or I mispronounced something and was correcting that. But if you do run into a similar instance, you always have the option to say scratch that. It will delete what you set up to the last pause and then allow you to resume dictation. Let's go ahead and look at the select and say commands. So you can see I threw in an auto text, and now let's say within that auto text that 95% of it was correct. Maybe I just wanted to change a little bit. I'll go ahead and show that now. End of procedure. Select both through thoroughly, period. The left surgical site was then irrigated thoroughly, period. Okay, so you can also use the select and says commands to edit or modify a word or sentence within your dictations in the straight text as well. That will wrap up our demonstration. And a little bit about us. So CME and FirstDragon.com have been offering and customizing speech recognition solutions for over 22 years as an elite partner with Nuance Communications. We have maintained the #1 position in support, training, and sales in the U.S. Our in-house, U.S.-based support and training teams will make sure you are proficient with all of our offered tools. An announcement was recently made by the software developer that our local solutions will be discontinued by the end of March this year. Now is the perfect time to migrate to Dragon Medical One and avoid a possible disruption in service. We are happy to assist with a trial at no obligation or cost so that you may conduct your own proof of concept and evaluate the increased value of our cloud solution. Thanks again for spending time with us today. My contact information is at the bottom right-hand corner. Please feel free to contact me so that we can have a quick discovery call as to how we can help your practice become more efficient using Dragon Medical One. We would also like to thank the American Heart Association for giving us the opportunity to present to their members. Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.